people first go on to a Zoom call, that they all have a little wave. So everybody started waving.
Yeah.
I think when we're in the real meeting space that you're going to walk in a room and go, hi.
Probably. Well, it's quite interesting that you say that, Louise, though, because one of the things that we've been looking at is kind of like a new etiquette, this new etiquette going into this new normal, whatever that's going to be. And how do you, with a face mask or with a perspex screen, you know, with that kind of barrier, how do you engage and interact and just, you know, really make that guest feel welcome? And so some of the webinars that we've been looking at and some of the videos and everything that we've been looking at to try and define what's the best way forward have been literally to have this wave, because as soon as you lift your hand to wave, your eyes light up, you're smiling, even if you've got a face mask on. It's a really positive kind of interaction. So certainly I think the wave is here to stay, definitely, because we need something. We need to be able to do something to demonstrate this kind of warm welcome.
Yeah, I think the hotels are doing, you guys all know this, but they're doing, you know, a lot of work on being COVID secure, kind of getting ready for, you know, recovery, which I think will be quite long.
Mm-hmm.
I think confidence, as confidence grows, I think more people will want to meet, but, you know, currently there isn't going to be a buffet breakfast. There isn't going to be a delegate buffet. All of this is changing. Rooms that took 500 are now scaled down to 200. So a cabaret style of 6 to 8 is now 4. And how is it? Do all your delegates arrive for 9 o'clock, or do you stagger them if you've got large numbers and you've got an entrance time at kind of 8:30, 9 o'clock? But lots of hotels are you know, a lot of the hotels are kind of leading the way with this, and I would say, and the exhibition centres that are really giving this some thought, because there is a massive appetite out there for people to meet and move. Although I do think there will be the virtual piece will be here to stay, because I think it's become the norm to some degree. And as you were saying earlier, how long would you travel to deliver some training? 3 hours there, 3 hours back, deliver your training.
Yeah, often a night before, so it's probably a day and a half, in fact, isn't it, by the time you've travelled and spent the night away over beforehand. There's huge benefits now to the way that you can dip in and out and speak to far more people in a day, and deliver maybe a few more training sessions, shorter training sessions, but deliver to more people.
Our virtual meetings have high delegate numbers. Nobody gets stuck on the motorway.
But then you look at the cost. So the cost then suddenly comes down for, you know, for our clients and what have you as well. And that's such a huge benefit for them. We were always going to have to go this way, I think, weren't we? When we look at our audience now, when we go out and deliver training, they are in their maybe late 20s, right the way down to, you know, late teens. It's a different type of audience, and they learn in a different way. And so we were going to have to adjust anyway. We knew that. We were trying desperately to get there, but we just didn't have the time. This pause has just really enabled us, hasn't it? The opportunity to really, you know, get it right.
So kind of, you know, tell me, in the last 2 months then, what have been kind of the key journey and the key changes, should I say, or how you've adapted within Smart? What's going to be new?
I've obviously been working with Joe and Sarah on some of the stuff they've been doing, but I've been trying to upskill. I've been on, as everyone has, you know, a lot of webinars, which are actually, a lot of them have got amazing content, but making sure that, you know, we're as up to date as we can be. And one of the things that I did was, I am now skilled in infection control and safe working. Brilliant. Because we recognise with this coming up to out of lockdown, you know, again, how, you know, the more we know about that and the more we can help and understand what the hotels are having to deal with and help them plan and prepare for that, then that's really important. So we've been developing an out of lockdown document that is a working document, practical thinking tool, if you like, that breaks down sort of what a general manager might want to think about, the heads of department, all the departments. And it's the practical operational side of things with you know, social distancing, infection control, that sort of thing, to actually opening the doors, getting the property ready, through to how we need to support the teams as well, but also thinking about what business is going to look like, and you know, the contingency plans involved. So, you know, we're potentially looking at the business being like a rolling wave, aren't we? You know, because we don't know what lies ahead. So, you know, I'm, you know, just not sure business is just going to have a steady growth like that. We're probably going to grow a bit. You know, things might change again with the pandemic, then up. So we have to be very resilient to that. You know, we work with a lot of independent hotels and venues, and smaller ones at that, who maybe just are struggling to make sense of that, because there's a lot of really good information out there. So we've kind of consolidated that into a working, literally a spreadsheet that you can work through. You know, anybody who wants it, it's a free tool.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, I loved it, Rose, just having a look through it the other day. And I love the fact that there is so much information out there. It's really, where do you start? And I love that you've pulled that all together in one place. Yeah. You've made it a checklist, so it's really simple. It's by department. So again, it can be delegated by the GM. But at any point, if they want to look into something into more detail, they've got then a reference sheet.
Yeah.
So it's basically saying to them everything you need to know or look at before you reopen. It's all here. It's in a simple format, but all the detail is there if you want it. All the references there if you want it. I thought it was brilliant.
So, you know, just ask me anything about infection control. You should see how I look after my house now. I'm like disinfected the surfaces and all the handles.
But I think when you do move back to doing traditional, you know, in the classroom training, as it were, sitting with a trainer, that when you do your introductions, that piece of health and safety will incorporate reminding your delegates of, you know, how to behave. That sounds well, but, you know, wash your hands. I think branded sanitizer clients is going to be a massive thing. Yeah, you know, you'll probably have you check in and here's your little sanitizer, you know, and all of that, how things are going to be delivered, how they're going to be moved around the venue, is all going to be, you know, it'll be up there with you, you know, your fire safety and all your normal housekeeping introductions, should I say.
And actually the communication with the guest is before they come, and managing that expectation. And it's very much a partnership thing, you know, the guest does have their responsibility as well. And we're helping them, you know, as they come into the hotel. But it's been really interesting, all the, you know, the things you have to, the detail really you have to think about, all the touch points, you know, and how you're going to manage all that. But the teams have to feel they're safe as well. So it's this real, you know, real balancing act, which I think, you know, from what I can see, a lot of hotels and venues are absolutely getting that right at the moment.
Absolutely. I was talking with a hotel just yesterday. We were talking about the spreadsheet and talking about all the different departments and how they were going to need to put these different processes into place in those departments. But then what were we going to do to roll it out for the team? So we've looked at it as a bit of a guest journey, really. We like to talk about the guest journey anyway, don't we, Jo and Rose? We talk about that a lot through everything that we do. We talk about this guest journey, really starting with that, you know, web search and then the inquiry handling, all the way through to arrival at the hotel and check-in. So with this hotel yesterday, we were just talking about how we could actually make this something that we could start engaging with the team members. We need to reassure them now that they can feel confident in what they need to do. Yeah. Because for so many of us, we have just been living in these little bubbles, haven't we? You know, in our safe environment at home, not really even coming into many situations where you're with other people from outside of your family. So with the team members, we're actually going to record lots of little videos, and the head of departments are going to do it from home. So they will record little videos on how they would demonstrate a check-in. I think there's a reception manager going to do it with her husband. Just record a little video on how to do a check-in. You know, they've got a makeshift perspex screen at home and they're demonstrating it. But the idea will be that with those little videos that may only be a couple of minutes long, is that we can either email them, of course, to the team members, or what we are doing with Smart Hub now is that we can upload those videos really, really easily. The team members can watch them as and when they wish to. So late at night, first thing in the morning, whenever they wish. And then they just have to answer a few questions about what they've seen. So, you know, what top 3 things do they need to remember about keeping guests safe and themselves safe when they're checking a guest in? For example, you know, you've got things like the authorization to think about, you've got the registration card to think about, or is it an online check-in?
That was a really good point though, Sarah, that, you know, the beauty of this training and being able to do things virtually like this is we all know we're in lockdown, and, you know, I'm in lockdown with a teenage daughter and my husband's home kind of for long weekends. You know, you guys have got families as well. You're not necessarily on your own. You've got work to fit in. So actually, it's like, right, I just need to do a quick 10-minute look at this. You could do it at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You can do it after you've had dinner, you know, and that's it doesn't demand that somebody's got to be sat there in a room. It just gives you greater flexibility.
It's like the television, isn't it? It's like going from BBC, where 8 o'clock you knew that, you know, Panorama was coming on and you'd be there waiting for it. Now you can watch it whenever you like. You can just dip in and dip out, and you can binge watch stuff. And so actually that's, you know, it kind of is very like that, isn't it? It suits everybody and anybody at any time. Very
much fits around your lifestyle. And I think moving out of this, there will be a lot of employees that have maybe worked full-time, have been office-based permanently, they haven't had flexibility, and I think we'll find as we come out of this and they come back to it, there will be lots of people applying for flexible working, because if they've been able to fulfill their position, their job at home, then surely there could be a hybrid and they could do a combination of the two moving forward. And I think you'll find that there will be some that will look to consolidate their hours and maybe say, right, I want to do a 3 or 4 day week.
Yeah.
I think there will be a big shift forward. And I think some of that, not just in the hospitality sector, but I think some of that in other sectors moving forward will be, it's made the businesses or that sector move forward at a quicker pace.
And it's probably proved that even with homeschooling, you can get so much more done at home when you're working anyway, because, you know, we've worked from home for so many years now, and you know that you don't just do a 9 to 5. You know, quite often you'll be at your desk at 8 o'clock, and quite often you'll be there till 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, if you know, because you have the flexibility to be able to dip in and dip out and doing things as you're going through. So you can actually be more productive as well, especially when you take the homeschooling out of it. Then actually it's going to be a whole new world for us all, isn't it?